セコンドチームの皆さんにも試合終わった後、勝ったにもかかわらず相当厳しい言葉をかけられてましたね。なんてことを。
まあお前が目指してるのはどこやと会長に。でまあ久々ダウン取ってイエーイって喜んだんですけど、会長に戻った瞬間、お前は何を目指してるんやみたいな、しっかり力見せんかいみたいな。もうこの試合前もまた会長にちょっと今僕鉄骨業を普段正社員でやってるんですけど、まあ、休ませてもらって社長に言ってで毎日会長に朝練やっていただいてたんですけど、まあ、ちょっと会長とかはじめ、まあ、いろんな人にちょっと申し訳ないなみたいな試合です。
対戦相手の原選手の執念も感じたと思います。いかがでしたか？
いやめっちゃ感じましたね。それはほんまにもう前回なんか集中しすぎてよく記憶なくなるんですけど、まあうろ覚えなんですけど、まあ、前回より今回の方が原選手やっぱ僕と一回手を合わせてるのもあってすごくやりづらくて研究してきて、やっぱ昨日計量でも顔を見た通り後がないなと思って、しっかりその気持ちをまた教えてもらいました。
最後に応援しているファンの皆さんにぜひメッセージをください。
ちょっといいですか？すいません、まあちょっともう土平日に来てもらってちょっとまあ完璧に見せるって言ってたんですけども全然あかんくて、ほんまにすいません。もうちょっとまた頑張りますんで応援してもらえたら嬉しいです。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。改めて盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。
Well, our first winner in the books, and whether he'll be able to trouble either of the men in our next bout. Eduardo Nunes taking on Masanori Rikishi for the World Super Featherweight title. You see the beginning of the end again for Harara, and last line on that one, Barry, it was a impressive at times performance, but as you said, probably a couple of steps still to go if he's to trouble world title honours.
Yeah, I think so. So there's still a way to go, but he's building in the right direction. I thought that was, in many ways, a better display than the first fight. Even though he finished a few rounds later, controlled, picked his shots really well. I thought he never panicked, never rushed anything. Pretty much made Harara walk onto the shots for him at times. So I thought it was a really, really controlled, professional, mature display. And he moves on now. I think that's the more important thing. He gets that title back again. And I think he moves on now to bigger and better things, bigger tests of weight. But he's shown he has the power, I think the temperament, the boxing brain, and good feet as well, which take you quite far in this sport.
So Sabasa Narai victorious. Next up, the vacant IBF World Super Featherweight Championship up for grabs as Eduardo Sugar Nunes takes on Yokohama's own Masanori Rikishi. Just moments away here at the Yokohama Buntai. Pretty new arena this, holds around 5,000 people. It's about a half an hour drive south of Tokyo, if you know your Japanese geography. About a stone's throw away from the baseball stadium in Yokohama.
井上尚弥です。武井良樹です。
ネクストモンスタープロジェクト、
子どもホスピスへの寄付など社会貢献活動、若手選手育成を通じボクシング振興に貢献します。詳しくは特設サイトをチェック。
あなたにとって挫折とは？
そもそも挫折って思ったことがないんだな。
全てに意味があることだと思います。
素晴らしい機会ですね。
さて、リング上はいよいよ世界タイトルマッチ2試合を迎えるところとなりますが、改めて本日のプログラム、ちょっと目を通していただきたい部分がございます。ただいま終わりました日本スーパーフェザー級タイトルマッチ、奈良井翼選手と原優奈選手のページのお隣、こちらで次回のレミノボクシングの予告が刷られております。こちらもご注目いただきたいのですが、メインイベントが世界タイトルマッチ、WBO 世界ウェルター級タイトルマッチ、佐々木仁選手の姿も映っております。日本ではまだ世界タイトルマッチでウェルター級というこのクラスを世界チャンピオン誕生させたことがないという、まだ未開拓の地に挑戦する佐々木仁選手、実は今日ご来場いただいております。ここでせっかくですので、次回のレミノボクシングの予告も兼ねて、佐々木仁選手、世界タイトルマッチへの意気込みを聞かせていただきたいと思います。どうぞ佐々木仁選手、リング上にお上がりください。盛大な拍手でお迎えください。それでは佐々木仁選手です。お願いいたします。
日本史上初のウェルター級世界チャンピオンになる男、佐々木仁です。試合中失礼いたします。まだウェルター級ボクシング界、日本では世界チャンピオン出てなくて、6月19日、約3週間後にですね、試合が決まりました。もう本当にこれは日本で5人目の挑戦者になるんですけど、本当大橋会長とかレミノ様にも本当に感謝してます。そして何より皆さんが応援していたからこそ俺も頑張ってこれたんで、皆さんに本当に感謝してます。ぜひね、6月19日レミノで配信もありますし、ぜひ大田区総合体育館に直接足を運んでお時間空けてくれて、学校を休んでも仕事を休んでもいいんで、ぜひ会場に来ていただけたら嬉しいです。もう本気でこれを取るために今人生かけて生きてます。僕の生き様を見れると思うんで、ぜひ皆さん応援よろしくお願いします。で、最後にやっぱ皆さん日頃仕事とかでストレスとかもあると思うんですけど、不満とかそんな吹っ飛ばすぐらいの今から待ってろ世界コールお願いします。自分が待ってろ世界っていうので 大きい声で「待ってろ世界!」って恥ずかしがらず叫んでくれたら嬉しいです。しらけるのだけは本当にやめてください。会場入ってきた時にすごく今日大人の偉い人ばっかでちょっとやめようかなと思ったんですけど、お願いします。
はい、それでは場内の皆様、待ってろ世界、佐々木選手に続いてお願いいたします。佐々木仁選手、お願いします。
いきます。待ってろ世界。もう一発いいですか。もっといきます。待ってろ世界。ありがとうございます。
待ってろ世界、勢いのある言葉が聞けました佐々木仁選手。今ご紹介もありました。そして場内にも告知が出ております。来月のレミのボクシング、6月19日木曜日、場所は大田区総合体育館。メインイベントは WBO 世界ウェルター級、まだ日本人で世界チャンピオンが誕生していないクラスです。WBO 世界ウェルター級タイトルマッチ、もちろん佐々木仁選手、この日本初の世界チャンピオンになってくださることだと思います。ぜひご期待ください。盛大な拍手をお送りください。佐々木仁選手、登場願いました。6月19日のレミのボクシング、ぜひご注目ください。6月19日木曜日の告知をさせていただきました。佐々木仁選手、そして大橋ジム期待の新星田中空選手の姿もここに出ております。田中空選手もタイトルマッチ挑戦いたします。
横浜祭りで行われます
คิวที่แก๊งมันยืนเรานอนเวลาเราลดหน้าเราก็ต่ำกว่าจุดไม่เนี่ยเราก็อยากอยู่ที่แก๊งหมดมันคนละอย่างไม่ได้เลยมองมาใส่โซฟาใส่
では間もなくです。
みんな大きい声出して応援した。
それではリング上ご利用で行われます NTT ドコモプレゼンツレミのボクシングセミファイナル IBF 世界スーパーフェザー級王座決定戦、この試合に目を光らせていただきますオフィシャルスタッフお二人のご紹介をさせていただきます。まずはこの試合の公式立会人スーパーバイザー JBC 日本ボクシングコミッションの本部事務局長でもあります、本日は IBF 世界スーパーフェザー級のスーパーバイザーとしてのご登壇いただいております安河内剛IBF スーパーバイザーでございます。続いては JBC 一般財団法人日本ボクシングコミッション萩原稔コミッショナーでございます。
ボクシングに感謝してます。はい。
荒れた少年時代、その存在を認めてもらうため道を外しかけた。
悪いことをすることで周りに認められてたっていう部分があったんで、悪いことをしてみんなに認められたいっていうのがあったんで、人様にちょっと迷惑かけてしまってた時代があったんで、はい、その説はすいませんでした。
そしてボクシングと出会い、大きな目標ができた。
ボクシングがあったからで世界チャンピオンになるっていう夢が漠然とずっとあったんで、まずは環境を変えようっていうことで地元を離れて。
世界チャンピオンという大きな夢を叶えるため、彼はボクシングと真剣に向き合い勝ち続けた。たゆまぬ鍛錬で実力をまとい、名門大橋ジェネへの移籍を決意。
僕の階級スーパーフェザー級って言って選手層が、世界的に厚くて、日本チャンピオンとか東洋チャンピオンになっても世界ランキングとか本当40位30位とかぐらいにしか入らないぐらいの選手層の厚さで、なかなか簡単に世界戦組めるような階級じゃなくて、世界チャンピオンになるために一番近い道っていうのを考えた結果、大橋ジムに移籍することだなと、自分で思って。
兄の矢吹正道は現 IBF 世界フライ級王者であり、世界2階級制覇王者。弟は世界で戦う兄を間近でずっと見てきた。だからこそさらなる夢が膨らんだ。
兄がいなかったらボクシングも僕続けてなかったですし、兄も僕がいなかったらボクシング続けてなかったと思いますし、本当にお互いがあってなんで、やっぱり同時に世界チャンピオンになりたいなっていう思いがやっぱりやってるうちに強くなりました。すごいですね、弟もチャンピオンになったら。弟は結構世界戦は初めてですけど、自分についての世界戦は何回もやってるんで、そういう意味では離れもしてると思いますし、世界戦やからこうしなきゃいけないとかそういうのないと思うんで、普段の自分の世界戦を見てるんで、そういう部分ではいいのかなって感じです。
矢吹と力石、明日のジョーから飛び出した佐藤兄弟のリアルサクセスストーリー。そんな力石が対峙するのは IBF 世界スーパーフェザー級1位、29戦28勝 28KO、 KO 率驚異の 97% を誇るメキシコ最強のハードパンチャー、エドアルド・ヌニエス。
ちゃんとボクシングを組み立ててて、利かしてからすごい攻めに来るっていう選手で、ボクシング IQ も高い選手なんで、ただ振り回す相手よりもすごい厄介な選手ですね。で最終的にはすごい肉弾戦になるだろうなと、すごい打ち合いになるだろうなと思ってるんで、最終的には根性で勝ち切りたいです。
勝てると思うんです。客観的に見て普通に 6-4 ぐらいで勝つと思います。
絶対に勝たなければいけないと思ってるんで、プレッシャーは正直あるんですけど、人生で一番輝いてる瞬間なんで、その時を変に緊張せずに楽しんでやっていけたらなと思ってます。
矢吹と力石、悲願の兄弟同時世界チャンピオンの夢、認められたかった少年のボクシングと歩んだ青春ロード、その先を切り開け。
今回の試合だけはちょっと自分のために、自分にその一生のその勲章を持つために頑張って、戦いたいです。
IBF 世界スーパーフェザー級王座決定戦、エドアルド・ヌニエス vs 力石正則。
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Yokohama Buntai, Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan, as NTT Docomo presents Lumina Boxing Double World Title Match. This is the co-main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional world championship super featherweight boxing action. It is for the vacant IBF Super Featherweight World Title. Introducing first, making his way to the blue corner, this is Masanori Rikishi.
Here we go then, co-main event time. And it's the hometown fighter who walks first, Masanori Rikishi. The 30-year-old southpaw fighting in his hometown on the back of 14 straight wins, stopping 7 of his last 9. He comes here a man in form, but is he a man, Barry Jones, who can beat Sugar Nunes?
Well, you've got to say stylistically, he's going to be a problem, isn't he? He's a tall southpaw, very well schooled, takes a good shot, which is going to be important against Nunes, of course. Stays very calm under pressure. That's going to be a positive for Rikishi. Tries to walk, he wants that uppercut as well, and that straight left hand. These are all good weapons for him. So stylistically, he's a problem for anybody for this reach and size. But as we know, Nunes is crazy power, good strength, and if he can cope with that, then he has a chance.
This a significant step up for Rikishi, who is coming in here in great form and has beaten some decent fighters along the way too. Nothing shabby on his record, but Nunes is a man who has been avoided. Just ask Anthony Kakache. But now Rikishi has his opportunity to become the next big name in Japanese boxing. And if he was to pull this off this evening, it would send some shockwaves around not just the super featherweight division, but also the world of boxing. He's certainly got the home backing, that's for sure. now living in Yokohama, born in Suzuka, Japan, but this is home. And this is where he looks to make a giant stride in his career.
Way to the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eduardo Nunes.
The Mexican Eduardo Sugar Nunes makes his way to the ring. Eddie Hearn has described him as one of the best pound-for-pound punchers on the planet and the next superstar of Mexican boxing. Well, this is the opportunity he's been craving. He's been the mandatory challenger for this belt for over a year. Anthony Cacace decided it wasn't for him. Now he gets the chance, a vacant belt against Rikishi. And for Nunes, Barry, this one of the most exciting fighters, certainly in this division, maybe in the boxing world currently.
Yeah, he really is, because he's not just a big puncher. He's not just a big puncher with one hand. He's heavy-handed with both. He's extremely strong, and that's not just power, the strength that he has. He's a really good chin, but his engine's good. I think that's important. He keeps that power late. And so you think, he'll tire himself out, but he doesn't. He has that 12-round distance or the 11 rounds when he knocks you out.
Japan.
それでは試合に先立ちまして両国国歌の吹奏を行います。場内の皆様、大変恐縮ですが、その場でお立ちいただきまして、ご脱帽の上、向こう正面後方の両国国旗にお迎えください。それでははじめにメキシコ合衆国国歌の吹奏です。続きまして日本国国歌君が代の吹奏です。ご協力ありがとうございました。どうぞお直りください。
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, NTT Docomo presents Lebanon Boxing Double World Title Match. This is the co-main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional championship super featherweight boxing action. It is for the vacant IBF super featherweight world title. The sanctioning body is the Japanese Boxing Commission. Your international judges at ringside, Chris Wilson from the USA, Olina Pobi-Valio from Belgium, and Dan Rex Taptasan from the Philippines. When the bell rings, your referee in charge is Ricky Gonzalez from the USA. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with green trim, weighing in at 58.7 kilograms. Hailing and residing in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. He is trained by Eduardo Montiel. He has 28 professional fights with 27 wins, 1 loss. All of his wins, 27 coming by way of knockout. Introducing Sugar Eduardo Nunes! And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, enters the ring wearing white trunks with black trim, weighing in at 58.8 kilograms. Hailing from Suzuka Mai, Japan, residing in Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. He is trained by Seiichi Okada in Yasuhiro Suzuki. His gym is Hohashi Boxing Gym from Japan. He is a former Oriental and Pacific Boxing Federation Super Featherweight Champion, a WBO Asia Pacific Super Featherweight Champion, and a WBC Silver Super Featherweight Champion. He has 17 professional fights with 16 wins, 1 loss. With 11 good wins coming by way of knockout, introducing Masanori Rikishi! Fighters to the center ring, please, for your referee's instructions.
Gave you the instructions in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch them up.
The moment has finally arrived. The vacant IBF World Super Featherweight Championship is up for grabs. Eduardo Sugar Nunes of Mexico in the black trunks. Masanori Rikishi in the white. Expect fireworks, expect a finish either way. These two can bang a bit. And Barry, it could be a short night. It could be an exciting one, though.
I think so. I mean, both of them will take their time. No, they don't rush their work, but once they start going, both of them actually, they go through the gears pretty quickly. Lovely wide stance there, though, for Rikishi. It's going to be important for him if he can use that as well, just to put that chest over that front knee and then use that wide stance just to lean back but still stay on balance. Try and make Nunes fall a bit short.
As in our first fight of the evening, there's a significant height differential between the two. You described Nunes earlier, Barry, as a pocket rocket. He's certainly that. He looks all business, and he's just a man that looks hard.
And look at the size of his back. For a super featherweight, it's absolutely huge. And so, of course, where all the power coming from. The legs and the back.
When you see him in action, it's no surprise that Anthony Kakache would rather have not have defended the IBF title against this man. Took on Lee Wood a few weeks ago, and that looks an even wiser decision now after the way he dispatched Wood. But who knows, there could be a meeting of those two somewhere down the line. Nunes has got to get out of this one, and it's a straight right hand which finds the mark. The first meaningful punch landed of the fight.
But even there, you know, he felt that, Rikishi, but he was off balance, Nunes, when he landed with that shot. That's just the sheer weight that the natural weight he has in his hands. Good from Rikishi there, good feet. Using that hook, that right hook, lead right hook to spin off the target there as well.
Needs to use that reach to his advantage and get out of range. Can't afford Nunes to be able to fire off inside.
We talk about bringing your hands back quick as you can, but especially for someone like Nunes, you've got to bring those hands back faster than they go out. Good left hook there from Nunes.
Started that with a right hand as well, and Rikishi's got to stay out of range of those kind of attacks. Shot to the body there from Rikishi.
Just got to be careful he doesn't get his body too close when he throws that, though. Rikishi.
Final few seconds of the round. Again, a good right hand from Nunes. More body than head, though.
A good uppercut there from Rikishi to finish the round.
陸上界で世界スーパーフェザー級王座決定戦両選手の経歴戦績をご紹介いたします。赤コーナーエドワルド・ヌニュス、メキシコ合衆国。1997年7月25日生まれの20代、メキシコ合衆国出身。デビュー2015年9月、戦績は29戦28勝1敗。この28勝はすべて KO 勝ちによるものです。対します青コーナー、力士正則大橋事務所。1994年6月10日生まれの30歳、三重県鈴鹿市出身。デビュー2017年7月、戦績は17戦16勝1敗。この16勝には11勝の KO 勝ちが含まれております。2回目。Now round 2.
Into the second, and for Eduardo Nunes, a man who's used to being on the road. This is not the first time he's had to go in a fighter's own backyard. Shavkat Rakhimov dispatched of in Tajikistan, and here he is in Japan taking on Masanori Rikishi.
And he'll be happy with the start here, Nunes, I think. We found Rikishi a target to hit already early in the fight, but he thought he might have to close the distance a bit quicker, a bit longer, taking longer to close the distance, I should say, and have more trouble, but he's finding it relatively comfortable here, I think.
Rikishi stumbling back with that right hand, trying to follow it up with a couple of lefts to the body.
I think that right hand, when he was off balance, but Rikishi felt it. And then that just, I say it all the time about having power, making people feel it early. I think once you do that, it puts them on notice, and then everything they do, has to be spot on, which they end up choking a little bit, not letting the hands go freely, not throwing enough, not moving enough as you should, because you're aware if you make a mistake, what will happen. But in reality, you have to do the opposite. You have to stay more relaxed, do more work, be more fluent.
He's caught a couple of balances. He tries to get out of range. Rakhimov had joy when he was fighting on the back foot earlier in the fight, but eventually Nunes got to him. You can see Rikishi just trying to stay out of range and beckon Nunes in. Cuffing right hand over the top.
Yeah, it's good one. He got a foot on the outside edge to spin off as well there. Rikishi, it's good work.
Certainly looks like he studied the last few Nunes fights intently, and that's where a few fighters have tried to get a bit more dry with Nunes, but he has walked them down eventually and hasn't had too much trouble with southpaws either. 3 of his last 5 out of that stance, and he's dispatched them all.
Good work there from Rikishi again there, just moving around. These little cuffing hooks. The thing with Nunes, when he throws that right hand, he brings that right foot forward, that's a mistake. But he's so heavy-handed, he doubles up the back that right hand, so much weight in that arm without using his body that he can throw it twice and get himself out of trouble. He can get away with making that mistake, which allows him then to close the distance a bit there. You can do that, where most boxers, you do that, you're squared up, you're going to get caught, you're going to get hurt.
For Nunes, it's provided a lot of his highlight reel knockouts.
But when you see that right hand coming towards you, the last thing you think about doing is throwing. You're not blocking, evading, get out of trouble.
He's connected with a few decent shots in this round. It's that right uppercut there, but just out of range. A strong second round for the Japanese fighter.
Yeah, they did well there, Rikishi. Had good feet, good movement. When he got caught on the ropes for the most part, and I'm probably going to see it now, but he did spin off. There you go, spin off there, get back in the centre of the ring. Catching Nunes coming forward with some lovely little shots. Just see there, making Nunes miss. Nunes, no panic for Nunes. He is making Rikishi work. Not at a flat out pace, but making him work probably harder than he wants to, making him move a lot. But just not maybe pulling the trigger quick enough, and maybe then his hands go freely as he should. So I agree with you. Rikishi had a good second round there.
One of the big keys to victory for the Japanese was to keep Nunes off and keep himself out of range. In the first 2 rounds, he's done that reasonably successfully. But you only need glance at the record of Sugar Nunes. And not many have had much joy, have they? All 28 of his victories coming by way of stoppage.
But when you watch him, he looks easy to train for. You know exactly what he's going to do. I mean, you haven't taken the power or the physical strength that he has. And also, sometimes you see boxers, you watch boxers when in the ring, and their presence makes them bigger, makes their shadows large, and they close the distance. Canelo is the perfect example of that. A short, very short super middleweight, but his shadow is so big that he puts you under pressure without even trying.
Perhaps that is why he's had so many stoppages. Opponents feel they can get to him. He sets the trap. And that's all she wrote. Trying to work the body, Nunes, but Rikishi on the move.
Support for Rikishi here. Just keep changing that direction as well. Going in the one route. There it is. Back to your right-hand side there. Good work.
Oh, making Nunes miss wildly there.
But that change of direction is going to do that. It makes it hard for Nunes to set his feet to mount an attack.
Just feel it's going to be hard for Rikishi to keep this up over the distance. He's having to put an awful lot of work in here.
If you train for it, it's a little bit easier. You know, if you train and constantly move on your feet, it almost becomes like a second nature sort of thing. It almost doesn't drain your tank. The other things do, but that doesn't. Good shot.
And again, after he's fired it, didn't wait and admire it, got himself out. I think from Nunes coming back. Bit of frustration for the Mexican as well here.
I think so, yeah. He just needs to quicken his feet a little bit, or feint to come in, or double that jab to close that distance. Just walking forward in this round. Maybe a bit of confidence from the last round for Rikishi, but he's starting to throw a little bit more often here. And Nunes just taking too long to get to the target. That route A to B, which is what he does so effectively, is a little bit slower this time around.
Being made to chase the Japanese.
He won't panic though, will he? Nunes, you know, his end game is to stop you at some point, so as long as you're working, he won't mind. Back from Nunes though.
Some of that body work might come in handy later as he gets a left hand.
And it's also harder to cut the ring off against a southpaw as well when you're an orthodox fighter. Lovely work there from Rikishi.
A good solid end to the round for the Japanese, which draws the appreciation of this home crowd. Never a crowd to get too overly vocal in Japan, which is sometimes nice from a judging point of view. They can't be swayed by the oohs and the ahs.
But you can be swayed by some of the work though from Rikishi, I think. You know, even though it's Nunes forcing the pace, pushing him back, you should see there, and then his hands were being blocked there from Rikishi. We mentioned earlier, well schooled, takes a good shot. He doesn't have to take a good shot so far in this fight. Moving really well. The last 2 rounds were really good for him. That last one in particular, because just moved well. Then his hands go with confidence and authority. And Nunes, no panic for him yet, but a couple more rounds like that, and there will be a little bit more urgency in his work.
Well, Rikishi would have set just little landmarks in the fight, and when you glance down Nunes' record, 18 wins inside 3 rounds, 14 wins inside 2 rounds. You'll be seeing this as a mini victory just to get into this, the 4th. Does it suit Rikishi more the longer it goes? It's difficult to say that, isn't it, against a man who just stops people for fun.
It depends on the
strong, stiff right. That connected. It's shots like that which will start to put a few question marks around Rikishi's ability to drag this one out.
But Rikishi was throwing as well there. So he wasn't being bullied in any sense. I mean, back to your question, like, depends on the fight's going. I think Nunes keeps that power late. He has a good engine, so dragging him into those later rounds, it's not always a good thing. You know, it's not that. It's a better thing to get stopped early, obviously. But I mean, you're still not in, you're not in a safe place ever with him. But if you're making him work harder than he's used to, if you're tying him up, if you're landing his shots and he's having to rush his work, he will tire for the, you know, and then we'll see a different Nunes, possibly.
Just a danger. Rikishi on the move so much. A couple of occasions there, slightly off balance. If he catches one of these Nunes shots on the back foot, it may not be the most powerful of shots, but it might be enough to topple him.
Yes, that's better from Nunes. Just a second, just that moving his head, little rocking side to side. Just disguise that walk forward.
Trying to dig down those feet, plant them and fire the shots. That little left hook to the body, it's favoured combo, left to the body and a left uppercut.
A lovely shot there from Nunes. The leverage he gets into these punches. Just see the dip of the knees just before he throws that right hand over the top.
Yeah, the toes are gripping the canvas on some of these now.
So he's just standing at that little bob from side to side. Let's just give him a little bit more, help him with the momentum coming forward there, give him a bit more rhythm in his work. With a good change of tact here from Nunes.
Yeah, now he's stalking Rikishi rather than chasing him. Takes one on the counter there, but I think he knows he's going to have to take a few.
And he's so strong, you can't hold him. So wide, you can't get your arms on him, that's the truth.
Yeah, he gets out of those clinches so quickly and then fizzes in a shot. Trying to get that left to the body working.
There's an uppercut there for Nunes. He chose the hook on the side. There was an uppercut, was the shot of choice.
Both men connect on that one. Rikishi tries the right uppercut right at the end of the round, but as ever, when you get a fight on a morning in Japan, you get all action.
Good right there for Nunes. Close that distance quick, but then let his hands go. With hands up nice and high as well, looking to block and counter when he could. But I think he just had to use that upper body movement a little bit more in that round, and I think that helped him close the distance more effectively. And then when he got close, because he was swaying side to side, you just give him a bit more rhythm to his work, and let his hands go, pick the shots a lot better. Yeah, and that was the wrong there for Nunes. That might be a turning point there. He'll come back thinking, I think I hurt him. Not enough to stop him, but enough to slow him down. And I think that if that's the case, then it's going to be a hard night here for Rikishi.
Got a real grasp of some of the power that Nunes can produce in that round. Hard to believe he took up boxing because he was being bullied at school. Can you imagine bullying that guy? As he whips another left-handed and Rikishi just backed up onto the ropes now. Not of his own choice.
For Rikishi, to get that balance right, the throwing shouldn't be overall, but also throwing without giving big gaps for Nunes to fire through the middle.
Not being allowed to move around with the same ease he could in the first 3 rounds.
I think in the corner just said, listen, get closer, get closer quicker.
3 or 4 unanswered shots there from Nunes.
He throws that left into the body, that's right round the back of the elbow as well. Nunes.
You can feel those body shots as well. There is a real purpose behind them. And that is going to slow the pace of Rikishi, where he's able to move with ease as he gets his head snapped back there. Nunes starting to go through the gears. That combination he loves, the left of the body, then the corkscrew uppercut.
All he needs to do there is bring that right elbow and chop down with the right hand. No respite here, is there, for Rikishi at all. He's on him. When he's not throwing Nunes, he's on him all the time now.
Left hook connects. Nunes starting to slip through the gears now.
Good spin off the ropes there though from Rikishi.
Can't afford to stand close and trade, and at times it's not a trade. It's Nunes teeing off. 3 or 4 unanswered. One again to the body, which just had Rikishi. Feeling another left, dug in with purpose. This is solid stuff from Nunes now.
So he takes a good shot, Rikishi, but he's had to, hasn't he? Look at this. Lovely left hook there from Nunes again. Turning his body with every punch.
There's a few signs of stress now for Rikishi, who starts to go up. And this is a better response from the Japanese. He's had to take a lot in this round, and he needed that flurry.
I think that first right hook, I think that wobbled Nunes. Certainly push it back on his heels, for sure.
The hope is it hasn't angered him as Rikishi gets in another decent blow.
Oh, good shot again there from Rikishi.
Both men opening up at the end of the 5th.
Yeah.
Breathless stuff, as we thought it would be.
The pace of that round, especially the last sort of 30-40 seconds, was absolutely fantastic. You've got to give Rikishi so much credit, because that was a hard round for him, and then all of a sudden he had to fight it back. I mean, Nunes picking the shots really well, and even though they look like they're arm punches for him, arm punches and full-blooded shots, they really are. You see the way he turns it out, that left hook over the top there. He turns that body into that shot so beautifully. It was just wrong right here. That shot there, I think that hurt Nunes. See his body sway a little bit there.
Yeah, just went back a little bit. Crowd energized by the finish to the 5th round from Rasunori Rikishi. But it was noticeable in a couple of those shots, the reddening around his back and his arm area where Nunes is continually punishing him. One looks a little bit low there, but it's another significant body blow. They are finding the shots from Nunes.
Nice little short uppercut there from Rikishi.
Great timing from the Japanese. He needs a few more of those.
Again, just creating a bit of distance here. Rikishi is still only let his hands go a little bit.
Looking a little bit more in control as he skips away from Nunes here, as he did in the sort of first and second round. But Nunes, when he comes forward now, is starting to pin him in.
So sometimes he throws 3 different shots, you know, straight shot, the hooks, but also he punches across the body as well. Same with that right hand.
There's always a barrage of blows as Rikishi just drops hands. I think he felt that body shot. A grimace combined with a smile.
Good work there from Nunes. Right uppercut straight right over the top, and then the left took the finish.
It's the body shot from Rikishi which started this and has just stemmed the flow from Nunes. Heads are coming close together. I think they're going to continue to.
Shot. And again. You wouldn't advise punching with Nunes, but Rikishi having a go, and it's working for him at times.
Yeah, trying a firefight in there might not be the best tactic.
Good body shot again there from Rikishi, but good right hand back there from Nunes. It's a good fight, isn't it?
It's so far been a great fight. I don't think we're expecting anything less. The latest in a long line of brilliant Mexico versus Japan battles. Just last May, we saw Naoya Inoue climb off the canvas in the first round to put away Luis Neri in 6. He's providing some similar fireworks. Neither man's gone down yet, but I'll tell you what, they won't be able to take too many more shots like those that they've seen through the first 6 here.
Shot there from Nunes, just getting using that leverage of his body to twist into the punches. Landing good body shots. Landing good shots that should really be making more of an effect against Rikishi, but Rikishi's showing, we knew he had a good chin, but showing a really good resolve here to not only absorb the punches, but to fire back with quality of his own. Under pressure always, but constantly able to fire back with some quality work, making Nunes work for every success he's having at the minute.
Now round 7.
Well, the longer it goes, the more maybe Rikishi will fancy it, because he's taken some big shots from Nunes, but he's still very much standing. I don't think I can remember him being truly wobbled by anything yet.
No, not at all. I mean, you can see he's felt a few shots, but there'll be no panic, no danger that he's gonna. Does he even look for a rest, is he? When he gets caught with shots, he looks to fire back.
I did get whipped back there by that right hand. Always looks a little bit more dramatic when you're the taller fighter. And again there. And this is a tricky moment for Rikishi as Nunes once again starts to unload. There's been about 8 to 10 in a row here without riposte.
Lovely work there from this, and he just that straight right hand on the body on the middle of the as well, just before he comes over the top.
And as you mentioned, it's such a range and a variety. Very difficult to predict where the next one's coming from Nunes, and that's what makes him so dangerous. The left hook there, swaying Rikishi a bit.
I think Nunes has power, equal power in either hand. Sometimes you're strong with your left, and your right cross is better than your left hook. But with him, I think it's the balance is perfect. He's waiting either shot.
Left hook to the body, enough to bring the breakfast up. And now he goes head hunting as well. It's from everywhere, and that's what makes it so difficult for Rikishi. He doesn't know where to defend.
So looking to fire back though. I mean, this is not the fight he needs to be in, nowhere near, but he's not winning this battle for sure, but he's looking to fire back.
There's that right uppercut now, and then the cross as well.
Fantastic work ethic here from Nunes.
Head down, full steam ahead from Nunes.
And that's what you got to like Nunes. He doesn't know, he's a big puncher. He's always looking to knock you out, because that's what's happening every time he gets in the ring. But he doesn't just feel sorry for himself. He's hit with good shots and he doesn't get the effect. He's a guy who has real self-belief. I just keep working away, chipping away, chipping away. And that means he can be busy every second of every round.
Nice 1-2 there from Rikishi, but not able to then get out of range. Perhaps the engine just not quite as full as it was earlier, which is understandable.
Good solid round here from Nunes.
Rikishi trying to leave a lasting impression, though, in the final couple of seconds of it. And that was important for him, just from a personal point of view. Because for the most part there, Barry, he was dominated in that round.
He was, yeah. You know, he's had a bit of success when he's more close with his back to the ropes. And I think he's thinking I could block and counter like I have been doing. But he has been winning most of the rounds, that's the truth, even if he's been competitive and won a couple. But this round was a big round here for Nunes. Without really rocking Rikishi, he kept him at bay, sort of kept him in his little corner, in his pocket, if you will. Worked the way Rikishi wasn't responding as well as he had in previous rounds. It was clever work as well from Nunes. He uses that shoulder and that forearm as well to keep pushing you back all the time. When he's as you're on the rope, he pinches that right hand on the centre as well, just to almost make you chuck, bend over a little bit more. It's more than just on the surface. He looks like a guy who's just got lots of strength and power and walks forward and bullies you. But I think there's more smarts in him than you give him credit for.
He's such a powerful man. He pins you into those ropes, and as you say, drops that shoulder, and there's nowhere to go. But by no means is he dominating this entire fight. Rikishi has shown plenty to suggest that he could well be walking away with this vacant title as well. It's very much up for grabs here in Yokohama. This is the 8th round, scheduled for 12. Oh, and a little stumble there from Nunes, just off balance. Always a danger with the southpaw that the feet can get tangled.
It's a good one, Rikishi. Well, starting to use that length. Starting to punch just before Nunes gets too close. And you've got to try to do it, haven't you? Try and pick up the punch before he gets you, and then cover it up and try and fire back before you move off.
Yeah, use that reach. Use that height. Can't afford to take too many of those, though. Stiff jab from Nunes.
But you know Nunes is going to close the distance. He's inevitable. He's too strong to hold back. Then when he gets close, then you have to try and tuck up and hope you can absorb him on your arms. Then flurry a little bit. He'll have a one big shot and then spin like he was in the early rounds. Get back to centre of the ring, use that long reach again, and just reset, go again, reset, go again.
And as he did in those early rounds here, Rikishi on his bike, on the move, making himself a difficult target.
I gotta say, that's the difficult thing. You know, when you've been on your bike, if you stay on your, it sounds weird, if you stay on your bike for the whole, you sort of got a rhythm in your work, and your brain always gets you, you're flowing. But when you hold your feet for a couple of rounds and then get back on your bike again, it's difficult to do. But physically, it's difficult to do.
And a couple of times when he's got in close and got into an exchange, he's had some joys, and then there's the opposite side. He wants to get involved, and a Japanese crowd enjoy it. A Japanese fighter seems to enjoy it as well.
Good right hand there from Nunes. He just won't go away, will he?
And that's the thing, and he has had as many stoppages late in fights as he's had them early, and as you mentioned, he carries that power into the later rounds. That's the key.
But his work ethic's fantastic. That's why he's always bullying you.
Great right hand there.
You could argue even if he took the time with him more, he'd be a bigger puncher, even more so. Good work from Rikishi.
Yeah, lovely. Keeps the crowd on side as well. Solid end to the round. Both men stay and exchange a couple of words. Mentioning great Mexican Japanese battles, fought a year, contended a few years ago when Francisco Vargas beat Takushi Miura in this division as well for the WBC crown.
Yeah, he lands with a good shot. Look at the response there from Nunes. His body shots. It got to be slowing the legs down at some point.
That is the worry for Rikishi when he's had a couple of moments. They've been followed by Nunes unloading the tank. Some encouragement though for Rikishi's corner.
It's not as if he didn't expect this. Let's be honest. You know what you're going to. Like I said, with Nunes, you know what you're training for with him. There's no. I don't think there's any surprises unless you didn't think he was as strong as he looked.
Yeah, he's not a man, I think, that would hold deceptive power. And he's by no means to criticise Anthony Kakache, but if he's decided not to take Nunes because he's seen this and thought, maybe not quite yet.
But there's an argument that once you win the world title, you shouldn't turn down any challenge. But I think for him and for his age and the chance of earning big money, I think that was the reason. He ticked the box of winning a world title. There was a chance of a bigger money fight for him against someone who's not in his peak anymore. I think he had to do the right thing. So you get towards it. It was a long journey to get there for Kakachi. Now maybe he can box through, the money that he was after.
Nunes, a man around 7 years his junior as well. Eddie Hearn's been talking up a potential fight with Ray Ford if he comes through this one.
Great fight. I think Ray Ford is fantastic. For the featherweight, I think it's suited him as well.
But to set up those potential fights, he's got to get through this, and it's going to be easier said than done because Rikishi is well in the battle here.
And Rikishi just keep those elbows tucked in tight, his hands are high, so he's just taking the sting out of some of these heavy shots here from Nunes.
And as we've seen on a few of the replays, Nunes is punching through that guard.
Does that quite well as well, Nunes. When you right hand from him, when you're looking to slide off the ropes, he just throws an arm or catches you on the move.
It doesn't waste any opportunity to get a shot through. That's what's been the impressive thing. Good shot. Rocking the head about of Rikishi there, that right hand. And again with the straight right after softening up the body with a left hook.
Really good rounds here for Nunes.
Rikishi trying to push him off, but it's easier said than done.
He landed a good left hand there, though. Rikishi nice long straight left hand on the middle. Nunes
in close and doing some great work here. Nunes, as Rikishi desperately tries to fend off the Mexican at the end of the ninth.
That was a really hard round there for Rikishi, really hard. He took some heavy shots and didn't really respond. He did at the end a little bit, but I think Nunes came up with a bit of intent there. I think his work ethic is just unbelievable. For a guy who's looking to unload with heavy shots for every punch, just doesn't start throwing punches. Again, the variety there, body, right hand over the top, brings him up through the middle, straight right hand down the pipe as well there to the stomach. Just the sheer weight pushing the head back, and Rikishi, I think he passed that round. Didn't look seriously hurt, but struggled a little bit. And he's going to need a second win here, otherwise it's going to be a hard run to the finishing line.
Well, in to the 10th. Barry, how do you see it so far? As a right hand from Nunes goes over the top, might not need a scorecard at this rate. That was a big shot from Nunes. That's the first time that Rikishi has really been stumbled. And there's a long, long way to go in this round now.
Good right hand as well there from Nunes. He's already up on the scorecards for me. He won't be happy with that.
Thudding right hand again as Nunes finds his range.
And that's the worst thing. Nunes is on your case anyway, but if you show you're tired or hurt, if you can turn that screw, you will.
Well, Rikishi needed a second win, but he's getting the win taken out of him here. It's as though Nunes has decided this is where we start to take it away.
Clubs you on the side, Nunes. See, the right hands on the top, left hooks, and then all of a sudden they bring them through the middle. But they're straight on an uppercut.
This is impressive stuff from Nunes, forcing Rikishi back to the corner. And he manages to shove the Mexican off.
Oh, nice shot left hook there from Nunes as well.
As Rikishi is thinking about getting into a firefight now, it might all end pretty quickly. Has one into the body of Rikishi, but doesn't really have much of an effect. Nunes, on the other hand, though, a left, another right there, straight through the defense and snapping that head back.
Oh, good shot there from Rikishi there, really good work, but under the cost, no effect on Nunes. He just walked forward.
Yeah, self-preservation stuff at times from Rikishi. He's just throwing those shots, I think, to just keep Nunes off, but it's Nunes who keeps walking him down, and he's happy to come through these attacks now.
Again, just non-stop, isn't it, from Nunes? The energy on the man.
It is relentless. Sometimes I'm not in favour of the CompuBox stats, but this is the kind of fight you'd love to see them. The power shots thrown by Nunes, and those that landed.
Good luck time to get there for Nunes.
Rikishi backed up onto the ropes and doesn't want to be there. Desperate to keep Nunes off, but it's an impossible task at the moment.
So a good chin there. Rikishi really got caught with the right hand as he was throwing.
And another right hand got through there. It was preluded by the left as those body shots go in again. And Rikishi getting worked down at the end of the round, a punishing 10. And he is breathing heavy in that corner now. He looks as fresh as a daisy.
It's a funny thing about pace. When you dictate it, when you're boxing your pace, it's more comfortable for you, obviously. But I mean, you look like you can do it at a breeze. It's hard, but you're regulating your breathing. But that was another hard round. The round before was hard, and we mentioned that about Rikishi maybe starting to fall, but this round was the first time he looked like he was in real trouble here from Nunes. But he dug in, he battled back. Rikishi had landed with some good shots of his own at his moments, but Nunes, not just the weight of the shot, but the strength, the engine is just fantastic. It really is.
Shades of that Rakhimov fight last summer when Nunes got the job done in the 11th, having worn down his opponent with an absolute barrage in the 10th, and that's what happened here. Will we get a similar outcome? It's difficult to know what Rikishi can do to have some success as he takes that left uppercut.
Just glanced, I think, though, luckily for Rikishi.
Even the glancing blows of Nunes, though, have an effect, don't they?
And the more tired you are, the more effect they'll have on you. So, and again, like we mentioned, it keeps that power throughout the whole contest. It's dangerous because it keeps it late.
Rapid fire from Nunes again.
He doesn't take a rest either, does he, Nunes?
He is all action, and Rikishi, there is nowhere to go. He's got to get away from those ropes. Manages to avoid that roundhouse right, which may well have ended it early. Early in this round, at least. The 11th here, scheduled for 12. Will we see the final bell?
That's right hand there from Nunes. He must be thinking, I'm just doing enough shots here for you to start wilting.
Credit to Rikishi, trying to get some movement back in those legs, trying to keep on the move, trying to keep Nunes off, but it's just been an impossible task for him. This is there wildly with the uppercut. Nunes just taking his time here.
He's actually just following Rikishi around a little too much. Body shot.
A few too many of Rikishi's shots are just ripostes at the moment, just looking to keep Nunes off. But as you say, Barry, he's not really walking him down at the moment, just following his movement.
I think he's hitting that one big punch to start the unraveling here of Rikishi, but it's not going to happen now. Sort of pressurise him, keep him on the ropes here.
Trying to go back to those body shots again. Try and slow down this movement. Flicking the right hand upstairs. Got every punch in the book.
Look at that from Rikishi, but the response from Nunes is a barrage of 10 shots.
They're going to go out trading at the end of the 11th round. We will go into a final decider. Well, for Nunes, you would feel that the work is done. Rikishi's going to need something pretty special in the final round.
I mean, for another fighter, you think the work was done? For Nunes, I think he's going to think, why is he still on his feet? And I think he'll go for the finish. I think there'll be more intensity in his work. And for Rikishi, he'll see the finishing line now. I mean, he's exhausted for sure. But sometimes when you see that finishing line, you only got 3 minutes, you get that adrenaline rush. Gives you that little bit of a second wind. You might be able to have enough energy to see the distance. Or is he going to go for the win? He's way behind on the scorecards. Do you need something special here? It's one of those moments where you can just console yourself with, let's get to the end of the contest. I'm not going to win it, or keep going out on your shield, as they say, and take that risk.
Well, only one fighter has avoided a KO defeat against Eduardo Sugar Nunes. Rikishi has the opportunity to add his name to that list. But can he stop Nunes in this last round? He probably has to if he's to take this vacant title. Uppercut there, but then Nunes just comes back firing.
Again, another thing with Nunes, he takes a good shot. As Rikishi did, we knew that before this contest. I made this contest on paper, so it's an intriguing one. Both guys with good chins, both with decent, both with power, one with really good power, one with decent power. So it's always going to be about how their offense matched up against each other's.
Rikishi has managed to absorb that power so far. We've mentioned before the power that Nunes can take into the later rounds. This the last as Rikishi gets round with a right hook of his own and getting a little bit of joy and a ovation from this home crowd.
Yeah, great work from Rikishi, but Nunes just got to keep the pressure now. Okay, this is usually one of those things that will die out quite quick. Kind of adrenaline rush where you're real flurry and then you'll go back. When you've got a tired fighter, they'll get back to zero quite quick with that energy levels.
And Rikishi knows that he needs a stoppage and he's going to go out on his shield here. The worry is Nunes can take him out because of that.
It's literally been non-stop. The left hook there from Nunes and a right hand.
Rikishi visibly tired, but biting down on the gum shield and giving it a right go in this 12. Not quite the snap in his shots that there were earlier. For Nunes, though, it's a different story as he starts to walk forward again. They're going to go out firing here.
Good work. Just doesn't give you a second. He's on you all the time. You're really trying to retreat. You find that last little shot there to hit you on the move.
Absolutely no respite. Again, the mixture of body and head shots. Rikishi desperately trying to see the final bell and probably deserves to. Nunes gets through with a right hand, just in danger of smothering some of his work as he got a bit frantic up close there. Final seconds of an enthralling battle as Eduardo Nunes goes for stoppage number 29 and a big right hand to finish it with Rikishi. We'll see the final bell. I think he knows who's got this one. Sugar Nunes is celebrating a rueful look from Rikishi. But he can be proud of the effort he put in over those 12 rounds. But in the end, this man, just too much. The barrage, the consistency, and the work rate Barry Jones has surely seen Eduardo Sugar Nunes claim this vacant title.
That was fantastic to watch. There wasn't 5 seconds there where nothing happened. for the whole contest. In every round, it wasn't a 5-second gap where you could just breathe. It was non-stop. And you've got to give Nunes the credit for that. He pushed the pace throughout. Rikishi was fantastic. I think his resolve was brilliant. Some of his shots that he threw under pressure, Nunes is not used to that. And it was certainly when you got a fight, he was tired and hurt. And just seeing that last round, how much work he did under pressure again, Rikishi. But Nunes, he's not just a big, strong guy who bullies you and hurts you and stops you. He looks like he just walks forward, but actually, when he thinks about it, he picks his shots really well. His shot selection is fantastic. He had changed from uppercuts to hooks to straight shots along the middle, over the top, brings the elbow down with him, through the middle, then straight shots in the mid-drift. Quite often, you're always making you guess where the shot's going to come from. The only thing that's constant with him is the weight of the shot. Every shot's a heavy shot. But his work ethic, like I said, his work rate, his commitment to not giving you a second rest is what suffocates fighters. And he just came against a real stubborn guy in Rikishi here, because any other fighter, a lot of the fighters would have wilted. And you wouldn't have blamed him for that, by the way, because he is an absolute menace. And I think he's winning quite wide here. He's winning quite wide here, Nunes. And he gets that IBF strap. And they're all on notice now. Sorry, guys, he'd be easy to train for because you know what you've got, and you can see he walks in straight lines at times. You can see that, but you've got to keep him off you, and that's going to be the problem because he also looks like he has a very, very good chin.
Well, the beauty for Eddie Hearn is it won't be a difficult sell putting Eduardo Sugar Nunes in. Let's make it official.
空位の王座を決める新チャンピオン決定の採点の結果をお知らせいたします。ジャッジ、オレナ・ボビファイロ、115対113、150 to 113。ジャッジ、ダンレックス・タプタさん、116対112、116 to 112。ジャッジ、クリス・ウィルソン、117対111、117 to 111。以上、3対0の採点をもちまして、Winner by unanimous decision, IBF Super Featherweight new champion at red corner, Sugar Eduardo Nunes.
The taste of title triumph, oh so sweet for Eduardo Sugar Nunes, who becomes the new IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the world and puts the rest of a highly competitive division on notice. He gets it unanimously, a whole range of scorecards, but I suppose it doesn't matter how they score it, Barry, they got the right winner.
They did get the right winner. I think 115, 113 is ridiculously too close. I argue 116, 112 is a bit too close for me, but 17, 11, 18, 10, I think that's closer to it. Though Rikishi was competitive in every round, or in most rounds. He wasn't winning almost all of them, that's the truth. But it was a good fight, it's a good contest, and what a way to win a world title. You want to win a world title in a sort of like a really hard fought contest where you have to dig deep to get through the rounds. He was never in danger, Nunes, but he had to work hard tonight. Maybe harder than he had to for a while, I would think, because he hit the guy with shots that would have had an effect. And he kept just fighting back from Rikishi. So I think it was a really good win. What a way to win a world title away from home is always special for any boxer. And for Nunes, you have to wait his turn for a while, of course, to get that win, to get that world title in his belt. Now he can go on. Now Eddie Hearn can sell him to the masses, and he can put pressure on other champions to face him.
Yeah, that Ray Ford fight is one that they've looked at. It's a potential Riyadh season kind of fight, that one. But for this man, Masanori Rikishi, even at 30, you wouldn't mind seeing him get another crack at a world title, and he'd be well worth it.
No, he will. If anything, he might be avoided after watching that, because he's a man who's had the crack. He fires under pressure. He's tall. He's got weight in his own shots. So he's a real problem for a lot of fighters. I think, unless you want to try and do a better job than Nunes, then he's the perfect opponent to go up against, if you think you can.
さあそれでは見事新チャンピオンに輝きましたエドワルド・ヌネス選手にお話を伺いたいと思います。まずはおめでとうございます。今の心境からお聞きしましょう。
Muchas gracias. Me siento muy contento, muy satisfecho con el trabajo que desempeñamos esta noche. La verdad que hemos trabajado por 10, 13 años para este momento y gracias a Dios se llegó. Aprovechamos la oportunidad. Quiero agradecer también a mi rival, Masaroni Rikishi, por esta gran pelea. Es un guerrero de verdad. Quiero agradecer también a los promotores encargados de organizar esta función y a toda la gente en especial que se tomó la molestia de venir a apoyar esta función. Y a todo México, que este campeonato de todo México. Saludos a Jaguara, a los Mochis y a todo México.
ありがとうございます。私はとても今満足しております。この世のために私は10年間、13年間と練習を続けてまいりました。チャンスがものにして、大変嬉しく思います。この試合を組んでくださったジムの大橋会長に大変、感謝しております。また私のプロモーター、それから私を支持してくれた、支えてくれた、人々、この大会を運営してくれた皆様に、大変感謝申し上げます。またメキシコの、私のふるさと、またメキシコ全土の、ファンの皆様、ありがとうございました。
さあそれでは最後に今後についてもお話を伺いましょう。
Pues ahorita no sabemos nada. Aquí están nuestros promotores que son los que saben. Quiero agradecer a Eddie Hens por estar aquí presente, Juan Carlos y a todos los presentes, Alejandro, por estar aquí. Y ellos son los que saben. Vamos a estar listos para el paso que decidamos tomar. Y también quiero agradecer a mi equipo. Y bien contento de estar aquí en Japón. Espero volver a tener la oportunidad de estar aquí presente. Un honor.
今後のことはまだ分かりません。プロモーターが考え、私たちとチームと一緒に、決めていくことだと思います。この、リング上にいるファン・カルロスとか、ここにいるチームのみんな、本当にありがとうございます。これからは自分は大変日本が大好きです。また日本に戻ってきて、試合をしたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
見事勝利いたしましたヌネス選手でした。大きな拍手をお願いします。
Eduardo Sugar Nunez has the title and now has the keys to quite a future, and it'll be guided by our very own Eduardo Hearn in there, getting himself in on the pictures. And Barry, if that Ford fight is the next one to make, you could see that on a potential supercard towards the end of the year.
And a super fight it is. I think that's a real quality trade fight. That is, two good operators, one slick, steady, tough, and one guy who's just a relentless wrecking machine.
An incredibly competitive division. And he has every chance of cleaning up in it. But as we saw in that fight, and we've seen in the previous, he hits, but he can be hit. One thing for sure, though, Eduardo Nunez will bring excitement and entertainment to any ring he's in. So a reminder, our main event is still to come. Another mouth-watering clash as Japan's Yoshiki Takai makes the second defense of his WBO World Bantamweight title against Yunapong Tongdi of Thailand. That is the final fight of what's so far been a feast of boxing here on the Zone this breakfast time. So many more huge fights to come as well. In a couple of weeks, we're at Portman Road for Fabio Wardley against Justice Hooney. It's destination New York for Richardson Hitchens against George Camposos Jr. Got the return of Bam Rodriguez as well, Barry, coming up against Cafu from Texas, that one.
Fighter. What a fighter. He's a really good fighter in Cafu, but Bam Rodriguez at his best is, for me, the best fight in the world to watch.
That one comes your way on July 19th, and we've got a little fight coming up before that one on the same day as Usyk and Dubois meet for the second time at Wembley Stadium.
So it's a different fight now, isn't it? That's the truth of it. I mean, you still have to make Usyk the big favourite. You'd be silly not to, you know, the way, because even though Dubois has come back with better wins, he's rebuilt himself. Usyk's wins are better than Dubois' wins since they boxed last. That's the truth. Those wins against Fury have to be deemed as better. So it's an interesting fight.
さあそれではリング上改めてご注目ください。この後いよいよメインイベント WBO 世界バンタム級タイトルマッチとなりますが、ここで公式立会人改めてご紹介申し上げます。この試合の証人でもございます。立会人 WBO スーパーバイザーアメリカからお越しです。エンリケ・メンドーサスーパーバイザー。そして JBC 一般財団法人日本ボクシングコミッション萩原実コミッショナーでございます。
じゃあ最後は声出していきましょう。行くぞ
こんにちは、足立区から来た大橋ジムの武井良樹です。
新チャンピオン誕生。
試合始まってみればやっぱモロニー選手のやっぱボクシングのキャリアの差とかもすごく感じながら試合して、それでも判定で勝てたっていうところではすごいいい経験にもなれたし。比嘉大吾選手との試合はモロニー戦とは違ってすごい試合中もそうですし試合前もそうですけどなんかすごい楽しかったっていう記憶があって振り返ってみても試合中はすごいなんか笑いながらなんか楽しそうにやってたなっていうなんか素の自分で戦ってたなっていう。はい、今回1月に予定されていた、防衛戦ですが。自分の右の肩の怪我により辞退させていただくこととなりました。
で苦渋の決断ではあったんですけど会長に相談して、延期にしてもらってという形で、そこからやっぱり治療もなかなか思うように進まないというか結構重症だったんでだけど、彼のリハビリも努力してくれたんでなんとかここまで持ってこれたかなっていう結構ギリギリのラインで戻ったって感じですね。
怪我してしまってからいろいろリハビリとかもやりながら右の肩はリハビリをしながらで左はストレートだったり左フック左ボディ左アッパーっていう風に練習してで左の技術も上がったのかなと思いますしあとは走り込みもしっかりやったし本当にもう右の肩も調子もいいですしもう何の不安もないかなとは思ってます。
降りて
これやりすぎでしょ。本当に、合宿もそうですけど、どんな時も練習は厳しいしきついんですけどでもせっかくやるならみんなで楽しくやった方が自分はいいなと思ってますし、自分が後輩たちを引っ張るそんな気持ちでいつも楽しみながら練習をするっていうのが僕のスタイルですかね。
武井っていうボクサーって言えばやっぱりもともとキックの世界チャンピオンですし非常に高いポテンシャルを持っていますしセオリーにないボクシングをできる選手。
自分はもう K1 からボクシング転向してでもともといた K1 の頃に行ったパワードリーム、今でも行ってるんですけど、そこから後輩たちも自分の後を追ってくれていて、ヘビー級の選手もいたり、まだデビューしてないんですけど、いつもくっついてるケンジってやつがいるんですけど、そいつらもみんなで一緒にこうボクシングでトップになりたいなと思ってます。
自分もパワードリーム出身でやってるんですけど、やっぱそのキック時代の時からもやっぱすごいし、やっぱ人一倍練習してるなって思います。
今はバンタム級の世界チャンピオンは4団体全員4人とも日本人ですごく盛り上がっていて、チャンピオンじゃない選手たちもみんな強いですし、今バンタム級は本当に盛り上がってるなと思ってます。自分も WBO バンタム級チャンピオンなんですけど、この怪我してる期間の間でやっぱ SNS が流れてきて、やっぱ武井がちょっと穴だみたいな言い方もされたりするんですけど、なめんなよっていう感じですかね、ここは。
この武井と対峙するのは WBO 世界バンタム級8位、15戦15勝 9KO、 現在無敗のユッタポン・トンディ。
ユッタポン選手はアマチュアボクシングもすごい経験があって、すごい目がいい選手だなと思うので、なかなか簡単にはパンチを当てさせてくれないんだろうなっていうふうには思っています。
อาจจะเป็นประสบการณ์ทั้งมวยไทยแล้วก็มวยสมัครเล่นแล้วก็หัวใจที่เป็นนักสู้ตั้งแต่เด็กตั้งพื้นเพมันตั้งแต่เด็กคือเป็นนักสู้มันตั้งแต่เด็กเลยก็น่าจะเป็นตรงนี้ที่เป็นจุดแข็งครับ
もともと12月ユッタポン選手と試合があったんですけど、自分の肩の怪我のせいで待たせてしまうっていうそういう形になってしまって5ヶ月空けてしまったんですけど、試合なので感謝の気持ちを持ってユッタポン選手を必ずぶっ倒したいなと思ってます。
เราก็รู้สึกเป็นเกียรติแล้วก็ค่อยเจอกันบนเวทีว่าจะเอาผมลงจริงหรือเปล่า
WBO 世界バンタム級タイトルマッチ、武井良樹 vs ユッタポン・トンディ。
Ladies and gentlemen, NTT Docomo presents Lemino Boxing Double World Title Match. This is the main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional world championship bantamweight boxing action. It is for the WBO World Bantamweight title. Introducing first, making his way to the blue corner, the challenger. This is Yuttapong Tongdi.
Yuttapong Tongdi of Thailand stepping into the Lion's Den, the challenger for the WBO World Bantamweight Championship. And at last, some would say this fight, third time lucky tonight. It should have happened last December on the Inoue Goodman undercard. That show fell through because of Sam Goodman's withdrawal. It then was scheduled for January on another Inoue undercard against Yi Ju Kim. But on that occasion, it was Takai who pulled out with a shoulder injury. So we've had to wait a while for it, but we finally get the opportunity to see these two go head-to-head. A battle of the undefeateds. And it could, as the two previous fights tonight, provide fireworks.
And his opponent making his way to the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, this is the champion, Yoshiki Takai!
Yoshiki Takai, the 28-year-old southpaw, making the second defense of the WBO belt. And the next great hope of Japanese boxing in a division they have traditionally dominated. 118 pounds is where this nation excel. Pound for pounder, Junto Nakatani has the WBC belt. Ryosuke Nishida is the IBF champ. Seiya Tatsumi holds the WBA strap. And now Takai the WBO title holder, steps in to make the second defense in front of a partisan home crowd. And with a combined record of 25-0 and 17 KOs. Again, Barry, this could be one that goes early and goes exciting.
I think it's a really good matchup. I really do. I think Tung Dae's a really good fighter. I think, if you think Tak is just going to walk through him, I'm not quite sure about that. I think he has to be the favourite, but I think this is a really good contest, an intriguing one. Box at a higher level as a pro, but not as an amateur. Tung Dae was absolutely fantastic. So if he can bring that form into this world title fight, then we have a real contest on our hands.
Yeah, Tung Dae has quite the amateur record, including a 2017 victory over the former WBO featherweight champ, Robeisy Ramirez. And he's well versed in going into fighters' own backyards as an amateur, but this, his first ever pro fight outside of Bangkok. For Takai, he'll be hoping for home comforts, another successful defense, and on to bigger and better challenges even.
In honor of both fighters, we will play the national anthems of both Japan and Thailand. If you are able, please be upstanding for the national anthems.
それでは試合に先立ちまして、両国国歌の吹奏を行います。大変恐縮ですが、場内の皆様、その場でお立ちいただきまして、ご脱帽の上、向こう正面後方、両国国旗にお迎えください。それでは初めに日本国国歌「君が代」の吹奏です。続きまして、タイ王国国歌の吹奏です。ご協力ありがとうございました。どうぞお直りください。
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, NTT Docomo presents Lemino Boxing Double World Title Match. This is the main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional world championship bantamweight boxing action. It is for the WBO World Bantamweight title. The sanctioning body is the Japanese Boxing Commission. Your international judges at ringside: Daniel Zemba from the USA, Jose Roberto Torres from Puerto Rico, and Martino Rendona from the USA. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge is Christopher Young from the USA. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing black and white trunks with silver trim. He weighed in at 53.5 kilograms. Hailing from Tokyo, Japan, residing in Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. He's an Oriental and Pacific Boxing Federation Super Bantamweight champion, a two-time world title defender. He is trained by Akira Yaegashi, representing Oashi Boxing Gym in Japan. He has 10 professional fights with 10 wins, 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the reigning and defending WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World, Yoshiki Chaki! And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner enters the ring wearing pink trunks with green and black trim. Weighing in at 53.1 kilograms, hailing and residing from Bangkok, Thailand. He is managed by Terry Lasuwadwat. He has 15 professional fights with 15 wins, 9 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the challenger, Yatapong Tongji. Fighters to the center ring, please, for your referee's instructions.
Okay, gentlemen. Listen, everything up here, you can see good. Just right here, you see good. So let me know what time it is. For the WBO World Bantamweight Championship. You should fight hard, fight clean, touch them up.
Buntai Yokohama, ladies and gentlemen, would somebody, somewhere, make some noise?
Now, round one.
The WBO World Bantamweight title, the prize. Japan versus Thailand. In a battle between two men who originally made their name in kickboxing and Muay Thai, respectively. Well, they can't kick their way to victory tonight, but no doubt, Barry, it's going to be all-out warfare. These two get going early.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, once they establish that distance, when they're going to let the hands go, they will look to make their impressions, that's for sure. But it's going to be a bit tentative to start. They can look at each other. Certainly Tongdi, who likes a bit more relaxed approach. Good reflexes.
And in fairness, both suffering from a little bit of inactivity. Unavoided is that this fight should have been... Well, it should have been arranged twice. It could be over early, though. A stinging left hand from Takai. And we've got an early knockdown in this one. Well, we thought they might feel each other out, and down goes Tunga again. A brilliant counter from Takai. Two knockdowns in the opening round. Can Yatapong Tongji survive the onslaught from Takai? He's on uneasy footing here as Takai goes in for the finish. Down goes Tongji again. Well, this is a disastrous opening round for the Thai fighter. Can he get out of this? He's being rocked and rolled all over the place by Takai. Tries a counter, but he's just trying to keep Takai off at the moment.
And that's what they do there, is hold on. Even if you get a warning, just get through the round. The left hand of Takai is fantastic, right down the pipe.
Well, Takai been the distance in his last two fights. But you don't get paid for overtime in this game, and he's looking to get it done early here, and this is an absolute torrent of blows, and that will do it. Referee Christopher Young says no more. Take off for Yoshiki Takai, a second successful defense of the WBO World Bantamweight title. And this division continues to be exclusively in the land of the rising sun. That was as impressive as it comes, Barry.
Wow. Just wow. In a division that has one of the superstars in Jindo Nakatani, that's a statement to say, are you really the super?
2度目の防衛に成功、 WBO 世界バンタム級チャンピオン武井良樹。
Ladies and gentlemen, with 2 minutes and 7 seconds into round number 1, your referee, Christopher Young, calls a stop to this contest for your winner by TKO, and still the WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World, Yoshiki Takai!
On a division of killers, Takai, the latest one, off with a conveyor belt. So quick, so devastating. And it's ended up being a very short night's work for Yurapong Tongi. You wonder if he can come again after that, as conclusive as they come.
見事2度目の防衛に成功いたしましたチャンピオン武井良樹選手には
Before we get a final word from Barry Jones, we'll get a word in his native tongue from the winner.
凄まじすぎて言葉もないような KO 劇でした。今の率直なお気持ち聞かせてください。
こんにちは、足立区から来た大橋ジムの武井です。ユッタポン選手、本当にありがとうございました。まあなんかとにかく今日はもう倒さなきゃいけないと思って本当にちょっと最初から飛ばしました。倒していきました。
意識して1ラウンドっていうのはあったんですか？
そうですね、まあでも1ラウンド目から倒しに行くっていうつもりではいたので、はい、でも最初にいきなり左フックがヒットしたのは分かったので、はい、いいタイミングで当たったなと思います。
今までダウンもしたことのない相手、戦って目の前にしてみてどうでしたか？
そうですね、はい、まあでもやっぱ最初の雰囲気とかすごい怖さがあったので、なかなか入りにくかったところもありました。はい、
試合も一度延期になりました。本当に苦しい思いもしました。実際リングに上がって戦って、その手応えはどうでしたか？
そうですね、はい、やっぱ怪我して試合を流してしまって、その時は本当になんかいろいろ気持ちも落ち込んだりしちゃったんですけど、でもいっぱい仲間たちがすごい支えてくれたり、こうやってわざわざ分隊まで応援に来てくれたみんながいたおかげで本当に今日まで頑張ってこれました。
世界戦でのメインイベントというのは初めてでした。この復帰戦という状況も含めてどうでしたか？
そうですね、はい、やっぱこうやってメインをやらせていただいて、こんなにたくさんの人たちに応援してもらって、本当に、まあ、メインで1ラウンド KO で勝ったことは本当に幸せです。はい、
でも本当に前日計量の時から記者会見の時からそうでした。本当に武井選手にやってくれっていう皆さんの気概というもの、応援感じていらしたんじゃないですか？
そうですね、はい、やっぱすごくみんなの声援とかすごい聞こえましたし、本当に力になりました。ありがとうございます。
さあ今日本人ファイターこの階級でひしまき合っているような状況です。この先のことなんて聞くのはまだ早いでしょうか？
そうですね、はい、先のこと、まあ多分まずは指名試合っていうちょっとよくわかんないですけど、それをまずクリアしないといけないみたいなので、まずはそれクリアしたら、まあ本当に僕は誰だってやるんで、はい、でもなんかもう1本ぐらいベルト欲しいですね。
さあそれでは最後に会場の皆さん、ご覧の皆さんにぜひ熱いメッセージお願いします。
はい、今日は横浜分隊まで応援に来ていただき、そしてレミノで応援してくれる皆さん、本当にありがとうございました。本当にみんなのおかげで復帰することができて、ここまでやってこれました。まだまだ上を目指してやっていくので、これからもぜひ武井良樹の応援、それから大橋ジムの応援のほどよろしくお願いします。今日は本当にありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。改めて盛大な拍手をお願いいたします。
ありがとうございました。
Well, 3 incredible fights topped by an explosive finish from Yoshiki Takai. Barry Jones, a quick final word on what we've seen this morning or this afternoon.
I thought it was fantastic. I think that was a showreel knockout there and good finish there for